Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. And today's tutorial is this baby blanket, which I named my little jelly bean baby blanket. Because whenever I started making this, I asked my daughter, I said, look at this and tell me what comes to mind for a name. And whenever I was working on it, it was just about Easter. And she says, well, it looks like Easter. And I said, well, that's not what I was going for. I said, let's look at it. And I said, well, it's a bean stitch. I said, oh, my little jelly bean. She's like, I love it. So that's what we went with. So our baby blanket measures 38 inches across by 40 inches long. And you guys can make your baby blanket any size you want. The stitch pattern is any even number. So for my baby blanket, I chained 122, but yours, you can chain any even number to get the stitch pattern. Now, you're gonna need a 6mm hook, scissors, and a yarn needle. Now I want to talk about yarn. The yarn I used for this baby blanket came from Hirschner's worsted 8 baby yarn, and I used these 3 colors. This one is Baby Doll, Pansies, and Raindrops. Now, I used 1 full skein of each color, and each skein is 489 yards. I used 1 full of each color, and I'd say, about a quarter of a second skein. So if you, and you guys can use any 4-weight yarn. You do not have to use these colors. You can use Super Saver, and you don't even have to do 3. You could do 1 solid color blanket, you know, or 2 colors, or have fun with it, whatever you guys want. But for your yardage for each color, I'd say you're gonna need for the entire my blanket. Now, if yours is longer, I can't say it's gonna exactly be the same, or if it's wider. This is what I'm estimating for my size. If you chain 122, you're going to roughly need about 735 yards per color. You know, does that make sense? So like I use 1 full of these, and I'd say anywhere from about a half to a quarter of another. So 489 plus, let's say 489 divided by 2. Let's just say half, so we'll round it up. And what's half of, I can't remember what half of 489 is. 233 and a half. Round that to 730, 735. Yeah, so we're just going to go with 735 yards where I'm rounding up, so you're going to have a little bit of leftovers. Now, there's your yardage count. Now I want to talk about the pattern. So, at the beginning, we get to, I think this is my beginning. Here we go. At my beginning, we work our chain. We work a row of single crochet. We start our bean stitch. So the first bean stitch of your blanket is row 2, and then row 3. And that's the repeat for the entire blanket, is row 3. Now, at the beginning, I have my chain, my row of single crochet, first bean stitch, second bean stitch, then I changed color and started working. So now at the end, I stopped using the same color that I began with, worked my 2 rounds of bean stitch, and then went ahead and worked this finishing round. So that gives us our beginning and our end border. And now I just used what leftovers I had of my blue and worked the side, and that's all in the video. But get your guys' stuff together. I'm excited with this. I hope you guys subscribe to my Facebook page group and show me what you guys did. I would like to see one, honestly, worked in a solid color and maybe a different color border. Maybe one, because on our baby blanket, we change colors every 2 rows, but you don't have to do that. You can change, you don't have to do 2 rows of the color. Do 3 rows, do 4 rows, you know, and maybe only use 2 colors or use 3 colors. but I would love to see which the combinations you guys come up with on this. Little side note, in the description box, I'm going to put a link to a video to where we are going to work the exact same stitch for a pillow cover for the baby blanket, you know, as a gift set or whatever you guys want to do with it. But get your guys' stuff together and let's get started. Okay, so to get started, we're going to get a slip knot on our hook. And if you're following my pattern, I chained 122. But since you guys can make this as big as you want, you guys can chain any multiple or any even number. So for my blanket, I chained 122. But since I have that done, I'm going to just do it on a smaller scale for you guys. So I'm going to chain about 22. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. That's good. Okay. For row 1, we're going to single crochet in the second chain from our hook. So go right in there with a single and work a single all the way across in every chain. So go ahead and work your single crochets across and I'll meet you back. Okay, I've got 2 more to go. 1 and 2. Okay, for row 2, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn. And we're going to single crochet back into that first stitch. Give me some slack. Okay, so now we're going to work the bean stitch. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip the next stitch into the next one. We're going to go straight in, pull up a loop, pull it up a little bit. Don't have it, you know, tight like that. Give it a little bit of a pull. Now we've got 2 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over, go right back in there, pull up a loop. There's 4 loops. Yarn over, go back in there, pull up a loop, and that's 6 loops. 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through all 6 and chain 1 to lock it. Skip the next stitch into the next one. We're going to do the same thing. Go in, pull up a loop, 2 loops, yarn over, go in, pull up a loop. There's 4, yarn over, go in, pull up a loop. There's 6. Yarn over, pull through all 6, and chain 1. Skip the next, and into the next. We're going to go straight in, pull up a loop, 2 loops, yarn over, go in, pull up a loop. There's 4, yarn over, go in, pull up a loop. There's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yarn over, pull through all 6, chain 1 to lock it. Now, if you guys are working this bean stitch and you notice, like I noticed when I was making my baby blanket, there were times where I was like, man, this just does not feel right. Something's different. So I'd pull the bean stitch out, work it again, and I had realized what I kept doing was yarning over at the beginning. So if at any point, you know, you're working your bean stitches and you're like, this just does not feel right, pull it out, because I bet you may have accidentally yarned over at the beginning. I did that several times. So skip the next and into the next, go straight in, pull up a loop. Now, the reason I tell you to pull up a loop is because if you don't, I'll just show you without, I'm not going to, you know, give it some slack. I'm going to keep it like I would. Then I'd yarn over, go in, pull up, yarn over, go in, pull up, and it gets a little hard to get all these stitches, you know, to move since it's so tight. Yarn over, it's not as easy to get through there, chain 1. Now you see how these beans are a nice you know, high definition because you can see them better, you know, but look how little that one is. So we want to pull up whenever we work our bean stitch. So we're going to go in, pull up, yarn over, go in, pull up, yarn over, go in, pull up. That's 6, yarn over, pull through 6, chain 1. So go ahead and repeat that across, and I'll meet you when we get to the end. All right, I've made it to the end, and I've got 2 single crochets left. Now, I got my last bean stitch and my chain 1, skip the next stitch, and into the very last, I'm just going to work a single crochet. Now, I know in my pattern it says you're going to change colors every 2 rows, but at this beginning, I want to keep it, you know, the single crochet row 1 color, then my 2 bean stitches, and then I'll start, 2 bean stitch rows, and then I'll change colors. But I'm going to do all that with you guys, so I'm going to show you how I changed colors. Okay, so that was round 2. Here's round 3, which is the repeat round for the entire blanket, is this round. So we're going to chain 1 and turn, single crochet right back into that same single, and then we're going to skip a stitch, which is the stitch that we're always going to skip is the chain 1 we worked at the top. You know, after we work our bean stitch, then we chained 1 to lock the bean stitch. So that's always what we're going to be skipping. You're never going to work into that. You're always going to work right into that side right there. So we're going to go right in, pull up a loop, 1, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. There's 6 loops on our hook, yarn over, chain 1. And if you give it just a little bit of a tug, you can see each space you're going into. It makes a little triangle on the side of the bean stitch right there, right there. And that's all it is to it. Go right in there, pull up a loop, yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, 4 loops, yarn over, go in, pull up a loop. There's 3, 4, 5, 6. Yarn over, pull through, and chain 1. So go ahead and repeat this across your baby blanket, and I will meet you guys at the end, and then we're going to change colors. So I'm going to show you guys how I do that. I'll be right back. Alright, so I've worked my last bean stitch, I chained 1, and here's how we're going to change colors. Now for my colors, I went from the blue to the mix, and then the purple. Blue, mix, purple. Blue, mix, purple. But you guys don't have to do that. You can do whatever you want to do, or whatever you have, you know, set up. Okay, so I've got my last bean stitch, and my chain 1 worked. So what I'm going to do is into this last single, I'm going to go ahead and go in there, pull through, but I'm not going to finish that single crochet. I'm going to leave 2 loops on there. So now I'm going to drop the color I'm working with and pick up my next, which is my mix, and I'm going to make sure I leave enough tail that I can weave in, because it does get to be a little bit of a pain if you leave this much tail to work in. So I'm going to leave a decent amount. Oh, I'd say about maybe 2.5, 3 inches right there. Okay, so I've got my working yarn set to the side, 2 loops of my single crochet on my hook, and I've got my color I'm attaching pinched across my finger. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go, it's pinched, between my finger, my pointer finger and my thumb, and I'm just going to go in there, hook it on my hook, hold my work right here, and my working tail that's still attached, hold that, pull through. Now I'm just going to turn this over and set it down. Get me a pair of scissors. I just finished blue, so I'm going to pull this up and make sure I have a long tail for sewing in my end and snip it. Now I'm going to take that tail of the new color I attached and the tail of the blue that I just cut, and I'm just going to tie it. And I'll weave that in. And as a little side note, while you're, working your baby blanket and you're changing colors every 2 rows, weave in your ends as you go. It gets to be a little bit of a pain if you don't. Okay, so there is our finished single crochet with our old color. And now we just start row 3 again. Chain 1, turn, single crochet back into that single. And you guys can work over your tails as you go. You don't, you can weave them in at the end as you go, or work over them. Skip the next into our little side triangle right there. Work our bean stitch. 1, 2, 3, 6 loops on our hook. I should have said this. When I'm counting the number of times I go in. So then I know, at the end of the stitch that I am going to have 6. So I've got 1, 2, and 3. Yarn over, pull through, chain 1. And that's it, guys. That is the repeat for our baby blanket. Work row 3 2 times, change color. So every time you change colors, all of your tails are going to be on one side of your blanket. Go in, pull up, 2 loops, yarn over, go in, pull up, 4 loops, yarn over, go in, pull up, 6 loops, yarn over, pull through 6, chain 1. So go ahead and work that. For my blanket, let's see, I did end up using all of one skein of each of my colors. So that was 1 blue, 1 mix, 1 purple, 1 full, and then partial of a second skein. But I'll get all that talked about at the beginning. So anyway, work up your guys' baby blanket and then come back here and we are going to work a border. So now, before I do go, I do want to mention let me get my baby blanket. So here is the beginning. Oops, I dropped my hook. So I have, no, that's the end. Wrong side. Sorry. I have my chain, row 1 and row 2 of, in blue. So then at the end, I stopped on my blue here and here. Of course, there's a hair. And then what you're going to do, get my hook back. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish this round, and then I'm going to show you guys the ending round, what I did. I'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and I finished this round, and now you guys are going to be done with your baby blanket, but here is the finishing round of our baby blanket. So we're not going to change colors because I want it the same at the beginning as it was, the same at the end as it was at the beginning. Blah, blah, blah. So we chain 1 and we're going to turn. We're going to skip that single crochet right there. And we're just going to single crochet in every stitch across. Just skip that first one though. Single crochet into the chain at the beginning or at the end of your bean stitch. And the stitch made when you finish your stitch, your bean stitch. And we're just going to single crochet right across there. So essentially it's going to give us the same look at the end as it was in the beginning. So it's going to look like, basically what we're doing is we're creating a top and bottom border. Oops, I forgot. So go ahead and single crochet all across this. The chains are going to be a little tougher to get into, but we're just single crocheting in every stitch besides the single crochet at the very beginning. We're going to skip that. And the reason we're doing that is because it gives us a little bit single crochet in our last. There. It kind of pulls that end, get on camera, it kind of pulls that end in. Because once you work this, it is going to get a little, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. You'll see what I mean. It's fine, but okay, so we're chain 1 and just fasten off and weave in all your ends. Now for our side borders, because we already worked our beginning and our ending border. Now we're going to work the side border. And it's the same thing on each side. Trying to get my blanket here. We're going to start at one end in one of the corners. All right. So we're going to find our corner stitch, which is our last single right here. Insert our hook. Get a slip knot on our hook. Make sure you leave a tail for weaving in. I gotta maneuver some stuff. All right. Get the hook, the slip stitch on our hook, and pull it through and chain 1. Now all we're going to do is single crochet up this side. And don't work, really tight single crochets, nice and loose ones. So the last single crochet that we worked into, or that we attached to, I'm going to go ahead and work a single in there. And I'm just going to evenly space these out. I'd say the way that it's probably going to come out is 2 stitches per color. You know what I mean? Like two single crochets for the purple, 2 single crochets for this blue, and then I'm going to work another one in the mix, and that's about even how it's going to come out. Loosely single crochet. And if you look, you can kind of see where I'm going. Like I'm going here, 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 and here. Now this is the side that didn't have our tails to weave in from changing colors. I'll go ahead and show you guys that. This is the end. That's the back. This is the end that I single crocheted down that had the colors where we changed, the tails where we changed colors. And you can kind of tell on one side where it was, and then on the other side you can see it better. But so go ahead and single crochet down, working roughly about 2 single crochets per color change. If it starts to feel a little tight, go ahead and work one more in there. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. So work this to one corner, and I'll meet you guys when we get to the end of the blanket. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm coming to my other end. I'm just gonna go in here. And my very beginning single crochet is kind of like it wants to roll in. So I'm going to get in there. Work a single in there. Now all I'm going to do is chain 1 and turn. Okay. Chain 1 and turn. And I'm just going to single crochet right back into that last single I made, and I'm going to single crochet all the way back to where we started from. And it is as simple as that. So go ahead, single crochet back to where you started, and I'll meet you there, all the way back at the beginning. We'll be right back. Okay, I've made my way back to where we started from. Got a couple more single crochets to work into. And this is pretty simple, guys. Just, and you know, our top and our bottom, we've already attached to, or we've already worked our border, so that's it. Single crochet in the last, chain one, pull up a loop, cut, and there is the end. That's it. This is so pretty. I think I'm gonna give this to my niece. She loves little baby blankets for her dolls and herself. So I'm gonna go ahead and weave in our ends. So yeah, if you guys want to come back here, I'm going to be uploading a video that we're going to make a matching pillow cover, not an actual pillow, but actual pillow cover that's going to match our baby blanket. I'm going to put a description, or I mean a link in the description box for that. But get your ends weaved in. Well, I thank you guys for watching. If you guys wouldn't mind, hit that subscribe button and then hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything from me. In the description box, I'm going to have some links for my Instagram page, my Facebook, Twitter, Etsy. There we go. Ta-da! It's so big I can't get it on here. But anyhow, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for clicking subscribe. Thanks for hitting that thumbs up button. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you guys think. And I think I'm going to start asking, like, in videos, you know, if there's anything, because it is really easy to forget things that I should have said. So, like, after I post the video, I'll go back and I'll read the comments, and it's like, oh, I didn't even mention that in the video. Or, are you serious? Like, why did I not say that? Or, you know, something to that effect. But if there's anything I forgot to mention or you want me to mention, I'll have my email in the description box. So shoot me an email or leave me a comment. I'll see both of them. But anyway, thank you for watching. Hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, hit your notification bell, and click all. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget, check out that description box because I'm going to put a link to the video for the matching pillowcase. And that's it. I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.